say Raiden the Thunder is an unloving spirit, fearful, revengeful, cruel to man. These are folk who are mortally afraid of the storm and who hate lightning and tempest. They speak all the evil they can of Raiden and Taro, his son, but they are wrong. Raiden Sama lived in the Castle of Cloud, set high in the blue heaven. He was a great and mighty god, a lord of the elements. Taro was his one and only son, a brave boy, and his father loved him. In the cool of the evenings, Raiden and Taro walked upon the ramparts of the Castle of Cloud. And from the ramparts they viewed the doings of men upon the land of reed plains. Often they laughed, oh very often, and sometimes they sighed. And sometimes Taro leaned far over the castle walls to view the children that went to and fro upon the earth. One night, Raiden Sama said to Taro, "My child, look well this night upon the doings of men." Taro answered, "Father, indeed, I will look well." From the northern rampart they looked, and saw great lords and men-at-arms going forth to battle. From the eastern rampart they looked, and saw great lords and men-at-arms, and priests serving in a holy temple where the air was dim with incense, and images of gold and bronze gleamed in the twilight. From the southern rampart they looked, and saw a lady's bower, where was a fair princess, with a troop of maidens clad in rose colour who played music for her. There were children there too, playing with a little cart of flowers. "Ah, the children," said Taro. And from the western rampart they looked, and saw a poor peasant toiling in a rice field. He was weary enough, and his back ached. His wife toiled with him by his side. If he was weary, it is easy to believe that she was more weary still. They were very poor, and their garments were ragged. "Presently," said Raiden, "have you looked well this night upon the doings of men?" "Indeed, father, I have looked well." "Then choose, for I send you to take up your habitation upon the earth." "Must I go among men?" said Taro. "My child, you must." "Well then, I will not go with the men-at-arms. Fighting likes me very ill." "Oh ho, say you so, my son? Do you choose then the fair lady's bower? No, I am a man. Neither will I have my head shaved to go and live with the priests. What then? Do you choose the poor peasant? You will have a hard life and scanty fare, Taro. To this, Taro answered, but they have no children. Perhaps they will love me. Then go, go, my son, for you have chosen wisely. How shall I go, my father? Raiden said, honourably, as befits a king of high heaven. In his rice field, which was at the foot of Mount Hakusan in the province of Ichizen. Day after day and week after week the bright sun shone. The rice field was dry and all the young rice was burnt up. Alack and alas, cried the peasant, and what shall I do if my rice crop fails? And with that he sat himself down at a rock on the rice field's edge and fell asleep for very weariness and sorrow. The sky was black with cloud. It was but noonday, but it grew as dark as night. The leaves of the trees shuddered together, and the birds ceased their singing. in plenty, thanks be. Rain in plenty they had, sure enough, for it fell in torrents, with blinding lightning and roaring thunder. Soon the peasant sat up and rubbed his eyes. The ball of fire was gone, but a babe lay upon the wet earth. A fine, fresh boy with the rain upon his cheeks and his hair. "O Kwannon," said the peasant, "this is thy sweet mercy." And he took the babe in his arms and carried him to his own home. As he went, the rain still fell, but the sun came out in the blue sky, and all the flowers in the cooler air shone and lifted up their grateful heads. Soon he came to his cottage door. "Wife, wife," he called, "I've brought you something home." "What may it be?" she answered. "'Tis Ray Taro, the little eldest son of the Thunder." Ray Taro grew up straight and strong. He was the tallest, happiest boy of all that countryside. He was the delight of his foster parents, and all of the neighbours loved him. When he was 10, he went to work in the rice fields like a man, and he became the wonderful weather prophet.
Father, he said, let us do this or that, for tonight we shall have fair weather. Or he said, Father, let us neither do this nor that, for tonight there will be a storm. And so, sure enough, whatever he said came to pass. He brought great good fortune to the peasant, and all of his works prospered. When he was 18, all the neighbours were bidden to his birthday feast. There was plenty of good sake, and all the folk were merry enough. It was only Ray Taro who was silent, sad, and sorry. What ails you, Ray Taro? Asked his foster mother. You who are usually the happiest of the happy, why are you silent, sad, and sorry? Mother, it is because I must leave you. No, why would you leave us, my son? Mother, it is because I must. But you who have brought us great good fortune, you have given us all things. What have I given you, Ray Taro? What have I given you, my son? To this, Ray Taro answered, 3 things you have taught me. To labour, to suffer, and to love. I am more learned than the immortals. And then he went from them. In the likeness of a white cloud, he scaled heaven's blue heights until he gained his father's castle. Raiden received him, and and together they stood upon the western rampart of the Castle of Cloud. On earth, the foster mother stood, weeping bitterly, but her husband took her hand. "Fear not," he said. "It will not be for long, for we grow old apace."